I left my dog alone for 10 minutes. Not an hour, not an afternoon, 10 minutes. The kind of 10 minutes where you think, I'll just run to the store and be right back. The kind of 10 minutes you don't even bother putting real shoes on for. And somehow, in that microscopic window of time, my dog managed to rewrite history, redecorate my house, and emotionally manipulate me into apologizing to him. This is the story of how I made the biggest mistake of my life by believing in just 10 minutes. It started with confidence, dangerous confidence. I grabbed my keys, looked at my dog, and said, "Be good, I'll be right back." He stared at me with those wide, dramatic eyes like I had just announced I was moving to another continent. He followed me to the door, sat down, tilted his head, that little sigh. You know the sigh, the "I guess I'll just wait here and slowly fade away without you" sigh. I laughed. I actually laughed. I said, "Relax, it's 10 minutes." That was my first mistake, underestimating a dog with free time and feelings. As I closed the door, he stood at the window watching me leave like I was the main character in a sad movie. I waved. He didn't wave back. He just blinked slowly. That should have been a warning, but no. I drove off thinking I was responsible, mature, in control. Meanwhile, back at the house, I'm pretty sure a transformation was happening. The sweet family dog was slowly turning into a chaos engineer. When I came back, the first thing I noticed was silence. Not happy silence, not napping silence, suspicious silence. The kind of silence that makes your brain go, "Oh no." Usually when I come home, I hear nails tapping on the floor, a tail hitting the wall like a drum, excited whining, maybe even a full sprint toward the door. This time, nothing, just quiet. And that's when I knew something had happened. I opened the door slowly, like I was entering a crime scene, and there it was, snow, indoors, except it wasn't snow. It was pillow stuffing everywhere, floating in the air, covering the couch, spread across the floor like my living room had just experienced a small, fluffy explosion. And in the middle of it all, my dog, sitting, calm, with a tiny piece of white fluff stuck to his nose. He looked at me, I looked at him, we both looked at the pillow. He blinked. That was it. No panic, no attempt to run, just a silent agreement that we were going to pretend we didn't know what happened. I walked further inside and realized this wasn't a single incident. This was a coordinated event. The kitchen chair was moved, not slightly, strategically, like it had been dragged into position. I followed the trail. Bread dag on the floor, half of it missing. Not chewed randomly, no, carefully selected. The middle slices were gone, the best ones. The crusts, disrespected, left behind. This dog had committed theft with preference. I stood there holding the empty bag, questioning my life choices. I turned around slowly and he immediately sat down, tail wagging gently, the slow apology wag, the "I love you, but also I regret nothing" wag. Then I noticed the remote, my poor, innocent TV remote. It wasn't destroyed completely, no, that would have been too obvious. It was redesigned, textured, custom chewed. The power button was barely hanging on. The volume button had character now. I picked it up and he did the slow head turn. You know the move. The dramatic slow look away like I cannot be involved in this negativity. Sir, you were alone. There were no other suspects, unless the couch attacked itself and the bread committed suicide. And just when I thought the damage report was complete, I walked toward the hallway. I saw white, a trail, a long, winding trail of toilet paper stretching from the bathroom all the way to the living room. It looked festive, like he had tried to decorate for a party I wasn't invited to. I stepped into the bathroom and found the empty roll spinning slightly, as if still recovering from battle. I could picture it so clearly. He probably pawed it once out of curiosity. It moved, that was enough. Game on. One paw became two. Two became a full wrestling match. And before he knew it, he had created modern art. At this point, I said his name, slowly, calmly, that low, serious voice that says, "We need to talk." He froze, ears back, head lowered, eyes looking up just enough to check if I was truly mad. He took one tiny step toward me, then another, and then he rolled onto his back. Complete surrender mode, the universal dog language for please remember I am adorable. And I hate how effective it is, because suddenly I wasn't thinking about the pillow or the bread, I was thinking about how soft his ears are. But let's be honest, in his brain, this wasn't chaos, this was survival. Minute 1 after I left, he probably waited by the door. Minute 2, confusion. Minute 3, mild panic. Minute 4, boredom. And boredom is dangerous when you have 4 legs and curiosity. The pillow probably looked suspicious. Why is this soft thing so confident, he might have thought. One nibble led to one tug. One tug led to full fluff explosion. And honestly, once it started, it was probably the most exciting 10 minutes of his week. The bread? That was just opportunity. He smelled it, he analyzed the counter height, he spotted the chair, and somewhere deep inside, his ancestors whispered, "You are a hunter." So he dragged the chair like a tiny contractor, climbed up and secured the target. That's not bad behavior, that's problem solving. Unfortunately, the problem he solved was how do I eat without supervision? And the remote, I'm convinced he chewed that out of emotional frustration. Why does this rectangle get more attention than me, he must have wondered. Every time I sit on the couch and press buttons instead of petting him, he notices. Oh, he notices. So while I was gone, the remote finally faced consequences. After about 15 minutes of standing in the mess, I started cleaning, and that's when he activated phase 2 of the plan, distraction. Suddenly, he was the happiest dog alive, Zoomies engaged, running in circles around the living room like the chaos never happened. He grabbed his toy and dropped it at my feet, tail wagging so hard it almost powered the house. He looked up at me like, forget the past, live in the present. And somehow, I laughed. I actually laughed while holding shredded pillow fabric. That's the thing about dogs. They don't understand property damage. They understand feelings. He wasn't plotting destruction. He missed me. He got bored. He explored. He made terrible decisions. Honestly, same. If someone left me alone in a house with unlimited snacks and no supervision, I can't promise I'd behave perfectly either. Eventually, after everything was cleaned, I sat down on the couch, the new, slightly less fluffy couch. He jumped up beside me slowly, cautiously, like he was testing the mood. Then he rested his head on my lap, just gently. No drama, no zoomies, just warmth. And in that moment, all the chaos felt small, because to him, those 10 minutes probably felt like hours. He doesn't know about grocery runs or quick errands. He only knows his favorite human disappeared and then came back. And when he came back, he was happy. No grudges, no shame, just love. I looked at him and realized something important. Dogs live completely in the moment. The pillow was exciting in the moment, the bread was delicious in the moment, the toilet paper was fascinating in the moment, and now, sitting beside me, this was the moment that mattered. He wasn't thinking about consequences, he wasn't replaying the mess, he was just there, happy, content, tail gently tapping the couch. Will I hide the bread next time? Absolutely. Will I move the chair away from the counter? Without question. Will I protect the toilet paper like it's a national treasure? Yes, I will. But will I stop loving this tiny chaos machine? Not a chance. Because here's the truth every dog owner understands. You can replace a pillow, you can buy new bread, you can even survive with a half-working remote, but you can't replace that excitement when they see you come home. You can't replace the way they forgive instantly and love fully, and you definitely can't replace the comedy of walking into your own house and discovering that 10 minutes apparently was enough time for a full renovation. So yes, I left my dog alone for 10 minutes, and yes, it was a big mistake. But it was also a reminder. Life with a dog is messy, it's unpredictable, it's occasionally expensive, but it's never boring. And sometimes the fluff-covered disaster sitting in the middle of your living room is the same little creature who will curl up next to you and make everything feel okay. Next time I leave, I'll double-check the counters, I'll secure the bathroom, I'll give him an extra toy, and I'll probably still say, "Be good, I'll be right back." Because deep down, I know there's always a small chance I'll come home to another episode of What Happened in 10 Minutes. But honestly, I wouldn't trade it for a perfectly clean house. Because a quiet house with no dog is clean, but a slightly destroyed house with a happy dog, that's home.